Shooter McPherson ends practice with a bang from 65 yards. Mike Petraglia inside Paul Brown Stadium. We're here on Back Together Saturday on Saturday afternoon. It was day 4 of Bengals training camp 2022. 28,000 fans showed up inside Paul Brown Stadium, and they got quite the show, starting with Zach Taylor and Joe Mixon addressing the crowd. Zach Taylor calling the Bengal fans the very best in football. A fan base that puts all of their time, energy, and money behind the Cincinnati Bengals, and the team is committed to doing the same for them to get back to the Super Bowl. Joe Mixon, he didn't mince any words. He said, look, we're here not to get back to the Super Bowl, but to get back to the Super Bowl and win it this time. The 28,283 that showed up at Paul Brown Stadium here on Saturday afternoon were in attendance at Paul Brown for the first time anything occurred inside this stadium for the public since, of course, the pep rally to send the Bengals off to Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles. As for the action on the field, Joe Mixon certainly showed off his wares. He had a couple of long touchdown runs, including one 60-yarder up the left sideline. On his first touchdown of the day on a pass reception off in the left flat, he beat the Bengals starting secondary and raced down the left sideline and then did a dance in the end zone, showing that he is in regular season form already. But the highlight of the practice, perhaps, certainly at the end when Evan McPherson was called upon to attempt a 65-yarder. It was breezy, it was warm, and Evan McPherson said after practice, ideal conditions to try that kind of long field goal. Not only did he split the uprights, he hit the back net. So the field goal probably would have been good from 70 yards. He watched the video on a reporter's phone after practice and said, yeah, that's probably good from 70 to maybe even 72 yards if that were a game condition situation. Zach Taylor said he hasn't seen many kickers ever do that. Perhaps Mason Crosby back in 2005 when Crosby was a senior kicker at Colorado. But certainly Evan McPherson showing that he has the leg. He's not just an accurate kicker. He can really kick from long distances. It'll be interesting to see whether or not McPherson gets that chance during the preseason or perhaps even in the regular season, and hopefully for the Bengals, even in the postseason. McPherson said he would love to try and get that opportunity. I asked him about that situation, and he said it's important to stay within yourself and not try to kick too hard. Last year, he remembered tweaking himself a little bit when he tried that kind of kick during practice, and it was a reminder to him to stay within the mechanics and not try to swing at the ball too hard. He hit the ball just right here on Saturday, and again, it was good from 65 yards. Still no Joe Burrow. The Joe Burrow update is this from Zach Taylor. He's been in touch with everyone in his family, Taylor said, and he's trying to give Joe Burrow his space and his privacy as he recovers from the appendectomy earlier in the week. No timetable on his return. As for injuries on the football field, the Bengals get some good news. Mike Thomas and Jeff Gunter, the rookie out of Coastal Carolina, the defensive end, both back at practice here on Saturday. Their minor tweaks of their left legs, not too serious from Friday afternoon. Also, the Bengals are looking closely at their defensive line and their defensive secondary and making sure they are ready to roll once the season begins. I asked Zach Taylor about Eli Apple, and Eli Apple is one of the most competitive players on the team, Zach Taylor said, and he loves to see what he's doing against Jamar Chase and certainly the core of wide receivers that the Bengals have. Eli Apple's also been going up quite a bit against Stanley Morgan in practice. We'll have much more on CLNSmedia.com. Be sure to follow all of our Bengals coverage there and subscribe to the Jungle Roar podcast YouTube channel below. We would certainly appreciate that as we cover the Cincinnati Bengals all season long. Inside Paul Brown Stadium on Back Together Saturday, Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.